Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent.
Because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com. Are you an enthusiastic sports fan?
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in South Dakota needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
All right, folks, let's get started. Parents, thanks for coming. As many of you know, I'm Coach Mather. Tonight I want to talk about the season, of which I only have one expectation: that everybody gets stronger. When I say get stronger, I'm not referring solely to physical strength. Sure, we'll be in the weight room, we'll be running stairs, but we're also going to focus on developing mental toughness and grit, because those are the characteristics that allow us to achieve greatness both on and off the court. So, how do we develop those things? By getting comfortable with a challenge, by cultivating the confidence necessary to overcome adversity in all forms. That's why I coach. That's my purpose. Every member of this team can lean on me, and I'll teach them how they can lean on themselves and each other.
This message presented by the SDHSAA and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day. Interscholastic sports in South Dakota. This message presented by the SDHSAA and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
What's the biggest myth about interscholastic performing arts? That you have to be the most talented or experienced to participate. The truth is, anyone can be a part of their school's performing arts. There are countless opportunities for students to participate, from theater, choir, and band to speech and debate. The bottom line, if you want to perform, there's a place for you.
This message presented by the NFHS and the SDHSAA.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in South Dakota.
This message presented by the SDHSAA and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the SDHSAA, are the 29,000 high school sports and performing arts students in South Dakota. And so, we stand. We stand for the runners, debate team members, and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, officials, and adjudicators. We stand for the drummers, football players, and actors. We stand for the golfers, singers, and swimmers. We stand as the national leader and advocate for these essential activities and all who participate in them and make them possible, because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common
Jackson Cowles. Addison Ernster. Kennedy Johansson. Lillian Kaiser. Aubrey Milbreck. Logan Mahalik. Reese Moe. Addison Nazer. Olivia Owalski. Brianne Simler. Michaela Sani. Ramsey Stansberry. Allison Turek. And Jaden Webster. Head cheer coach are Katie Peterson and Sarah Springman. And now for the visiting team on the scoreboard, the starters for the defensive team of the Pierre Governors. A junior wearing number 0, Carson Stosher. A junior wearing number 1, Elijah Butchie. A senior, number 3, Spencer Easlin. A senior, number 12, Jet Sable. A senior, number 26, Trey Lewis. A senior, number 31, Titan Winkler. A senior, number 35, Chance Sarda. A senior, number 37, Grayson Schutzel. A senior, number 52, Lucas Chamberlain. A senior, number 91, Emmett Anderson. And a senior, wearing number 99, Austin Lingdow. Governors are coached by Steve Steele, assisted by Matt Thorson, Scott New, Adam Spoor, Dan Machachik, Jeff Struckaway, Jeff Schlusner, Brevin Kaiser, Duncan Trow, and Ryan Boyer. And now, the starters, the offensive team for the T-Area Titans. A senior running back, number 8, Keegan DeYoung. A senior wide receiver, number 9, Brock Ellingson. A junior running back, number 14, Cole McKinney. A sophomore playing quarterback, number 15, Brennan Conrad. And wide receiver, a senior, wearing number 19, Tim Hubbard. A senior running back, number 30, Ethan Fish. On the line, a senior, wearing number 55, he's back in. Moving down. A senior offensive lineman, number 57, Carter Turek. A junior on the line, number 62, Charlie Leslie. Junior lineman wearing number 67, JJ Jacob Youngay. And a sophomore offensive lineman wearing number 76 from Team South Dakota, Cody Peterson. Prize, David Johnson, John Neeson, Hank Gross, Mason Scheidegger, and Logan Shepard.
It's the game that's been circled on the calendar since the state championship ended last November, and tonight it's played in conditions that the strongest will obtain and survive, while the weak ones are in a press box telling you all about it. Hello, everybody from T-Area High School. I'm Jerry Paleshi, and I am one of those weak ones that will be telling you about it here tonight, joined alongside by Chad Berger and the Hall of Famer Andrew Griffin. We're happy that you're joining us here tonight on YouTube, and we don't blame you at all, as it is windy, it is cold, it is raining outside. 3 weeks ago, when T last played a home game, it was like 90 degrees. We were all sweating up here. And now fast forward 3 weeks later, it's October football, Chad. But here's the thing. As this is a big game, of course, between Pierre and T. But if you're Scott Fry, he's been waiting for this one for a long time. And if he was able to cut a deal with Mother Nature, this is exactly the way that he wants it.
Absolutely. The weather conditions tonight really favor the T attack on offense. The T wants to grind the ball out, stick it on the ground, keep running the football. Hopefully turnovers don't come into play, but I think that this weather does go right up their alley.
It is the 6-1 Pierre Governors taking on the 5-2 T-Area Titans. Let's look at the Titans and what has been 2 long road trips back-to-back. It started 2 weeks ago where they went out to Sturgis. They secured a 26-7 victory. They followed that up with a 62-13 win out in Spearfish last week. Their lone setback this season was actually here at home to Yankton, in which they lost 37-26. It was kind of maybe a shocker for the T-Area Titans football team as they went in pretty confident on that one. They kind of got smacked around in the first half, made it a game towards the second half, but now they come back into this one knowing that this is a big game ahead of them against a Pierre team that their lone loss on the season was to Class 11 AAA Brandon Valley 2 weeks ago, 35-14. That snapped a 20-game winning streak that Pierre was on since the 2021 regular season loss to Brookings. So needless to say, it's a big one here tonight. Playoff seeding on the line, and maybe an opportunity that could be a deciding factor between maybe a 1, maybe a 2, depending on what happens with Yankton. It's really a race for the top between those 3 teams.
Yeah, absolutely. The Yankton game a couple weeks ago, kind of weird thing. Game started a couple hours early. T wasn't ready for it. This one, it's 7 o'clock. I think the Titans are ready to roll here.
It will be Pierre to kick the football off, and they will do so with the wind at their back. It is a 17-mile-per-hour wind, exactly according to the iPhone, that will go right to the back of this football as they kick it down the field. Doing the honors will be George Stalley. He is a junior. He wears number 4, and he stands 5'9". T will have Ethan Viss back deep. We'll see if he even has a chance to return as we get underway from Titan Stadium. Here's the kick. It is taken off down the field, sails into the back of the end zone. It is a touchback. So here come the T-Area Titans on the offensive side, led by quarterback Brenner Conrad and his running back crew that has been dangerous all season long. Couple of changes in the starters, though, where they will go with Ethan Viss at running back and Cole McKinney, who has burst onto the scene in the last few weeks. The fullback in Keegan DeYoung, he has had himself a great season as well. As DeYoung, throughout the course of the year, he has rushed for 235 yards and 2 touchdowns. It's 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line, just underway. Will be Conrad under center going into the wind. I formation, snap, handoff given, and a rush down the right side will pick up a few. A nice carry for Ethan Viss to start things off, a pickup of 4. Take a look at some of the defensive starters for the Pierre Governors up front. They are led by Emmett Anderson. He is a defensive tackle, leads the team in total sacks this year with 5.5 and 14.5 tackles for a loss. Linebacker core, some of the members to keep an eye on. Chance Sarda, 43 tackles, the team leader. And then in the secondary is Spencer Schonsberg. He has done some work alongside Carson Stosher, 2 interceptions and a touchdown on the year. Here's a rush that will go for a first down for the Titans. And a good start for T-Area with Cole McKinney. McKinney this season has made the most of his opportunities. He's only played in 4 games. He has rushed for 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. Here's a 1st and 10 from the 31-yard line. Conrad out of the shotgun. Goes for a handoff again, this time given to Keegan DeYoung. He's going to take the outside of the numbers. Scurries his way for a first down, shy of midfield near the 49. Another great run for the Titans. And they're going to actually mark him back at the 45. He stepped out well prior to where it appeared. Titans on the move. 10:47 remaining, opening quarter. Tim Halber, wide receiver for the Titans, lined up on the left side with the ball on the right hash. Conrad hands it off to Young straight up the middle, where he will be swarmed up and brought down. That was Lucas Chamberlain, who is a linebacker stepping up for the Pierre Governors on the defensive side, a 6'1", 200-pound. Gets the stop for the 1-yard gain for the Titans. See some of the players for Pierre jumping up and down, just trying to stay warm. And a good number of Pierre fans have made the trip out here for this. 3 receivers on the strong side of the field this time. On a 2nd down and 9 from the 46. Titans will hand off again. And maybe a pickup of 2 at the most.
Yeah, the Titans were trying to spread out the Governors a little bit with that formation and then pull the backside guard and tackle. Hit it up inside there, but the Governors filled it really strong with their inside linebacker on that play.
We'll see what they dial up on what is a 3rd and 7 from the 48. Conrad under center. Goes with a hard count. Got some movement up front from Pierre, but they hold on. Snap. Option. Conrad keeps it. Tries to go north-south, and he will be just short maybe of a 1st down. It depends on the spot. From our vantage point, it's going to be maybe a hair. It is. It's short.
So, Jerry, the defensive line on that, they can move as long as they don't break the neutral zone or the plane of the ball. So that's kind of a misconception when people see the defensive guys move on that hard count.
It's a big play. 4th down and 1 from the 46. Conrad keeps it himself and just barrels his way forward for a 1st down. Well, if it works in the pros with Philadelphia, you might as well try it on the high school field.
Yeah, the brotherly shove or the tush push, whatever they're calling it.
He didn't
nowadays.
even need the shove, though. He just went straight forward.
Yeah. Back in the day, we called it a quarterback sneak. I don't know.
If you specialize in it, though, you get a special name.
Well, I think it's due to the formation that those guys run with it. But good push there by the middle of the offensive line for the Titans.
1st down and 10 from the 42. Clock rolling, 8:10 remaining opening quarter. Titans content, which is using some clock as well, even in the early parts of this game. Here's a handoff trying to slash left. And finding a little bit of room with a helmet popping off here on the carry that time around for T is McKinney. So McKinney's going to have to come to the sideline just for a play. He's going to still net about 5.
All down to the 37-yard line of the Governors.
Titan offensive line getting some good push on the last couple plays here, creating some gaps in there for the runners for T.
Here's 2nd down and 5. Conrad, handoff. Cutting right side. And a nice carry. Riley Sfonda is going to get the attempt this time around, and he's going to pick up about 3.
Right side of the line. Brought down by number 67, Lucas Coleman. Gain of 2. Going to bring up a 3rd and 2.
I think that play was designed to hit up inside the defensive end, but they were able to get a little bit of a seal on the outside, and Riley was able to get that edge and pick up a couple extra yards.
It's 3rd down. The Titans have almost used up half of this quarter. They're only a matter of 45 seconds away from doing so. It's 3rd and 3 from the 35. Out of the shotgun, option play. Conrad kicks it over. It is DeYoung trying to get the corner, and he does. Puts a shoulder down and gets a couple of extra yards as he's pushed out of bounds. 1st down for T area.
And that's what the Titans are going to need tonight. Control that ball, have the big guys, DeYoung, Conrad, have those guys hold on to it, secure the ball, and then pick up those extra yards after contact.
Titans on the move. DeYoung on the drive, 4 carries for 26 yards. On the 1st and 10. Conrad finds a seam down the right side. Now he breaks free up the middle, and see you later. He's going to go. What a fake from Brenner Conrad. Found the outside lane and then just cut north and south and takes it to the house. Beautiful.
Jerry, it was a great fake, but it was also a spectacular hole there by the offensive line. There was no one within 5-6 yards of him when he broke through there.
be Carson Hall to attempt the point after. And it's blocked. Blocked off the outside by the Govs. But with 6:28 remaining in the opening quarter, it's the Titans who strike first. They lead Pierre 6-0 on the T-Area Titans YouTube channel. Titans go 11 plays, 80 yards, and took 5 minutes and 32 seconds off the clock. Brenner Conrad going for the rushing touchdown from 26 yards out. The extra point was blocked at 6-0 Titans. Here at 6:28 left to go, opening quarter. We thank you for joining us here this evening. Griffin Wiebinga will do the honors of kicking the football off, and he will do so into the wind. Brock Mosier, Trey Lewis would be two of the men back deep. However, T's just going to give a little squib kick, maybe even tried for an onside kick. The way that came off the foot, maybe just a little too strong. But it will be Pierre coming out on the offensive side. And they will have it 1st and 10 in decent field position as they will start from the 39-yard line. They're led by quarterback Cade Kaiser. On the season, Kaiser has thrown for 1,468 yards, 19 touchdowns to 5 interceptions. His main target is his tight end, and Jet Zabel. However, they're going to keep it on the ground to start on a 1st down and 10, and getting popped, even attempting to run, was Mosier. He's going to pick up a yard at the most. Nice contained by Tim Hulber. Jet Zabel, the tight end, 42 receptions this season for 683 yards and 13 touchdowns. He's the team leader in all 3 of those categories.
And I saw earlier this week he's also their all-time touchdown receiving leader.
That is correct. 2nd down and 8 from the 41. As it will be Kaiser keeping it himself, and he just trots his way out of bounds on the near sideline. And we'll see where they mark it. Look close to the 45-yard line, and they'll even go a few more past. Oh, now they back it up. They will go right to the 45. It's 3rd down and 4. Needing the 49-yard line for a 1st down. And the Titans jump off sides. Well, that's one way to pick up that first.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. The defense can move. They just can't go into that neutral zone. As soon as they do that, that's an automatic penalty in high school football.
Let's take a look at some of the defensive members for the Titans. The linemen include Jessen Wiebinga, Carter Turek, Andrew Opland, and Tim Hulber. Linebacker core, Sam Wordle, Tyler Reed, and Keegan DeYoung. And the cornerbacks include Ethan Viss, as Kaiser will take it on a 1st down and 10 from midfield. He's going to pick up 8. Carter Christensen, Dawson Eimers will get the start tonight at strong safety.
Moves above the 42-yard line to the Titans. 2nd and 2.
It'll be 2nd down, 2 yards to go from the 42.
Good hold there by the Pierre offensive line. Just running it off tackle, up the right side. No one there for the Titans. Able to get an 8-yard gain on 1st down.
Kaiser on a 2nd down and 2 from the 42. Direct snap, takes it himself, has a hole. He just needs to break free, and he does. There he goes. It's a touchdown for Pierre, and it will be Cade Kaiser taking it to the house.
42 yards out.
Jerry, that looked like just about the same hole that they ran to on the previous play. They're obviously seeing something that they like by, kicking out that defensive end and getting a seal on the outside linebacker on that side.
Kaiser with 3 rushes on the drive for 54 yards on the touchdown. And for Kaiser this season, his 5th rushing touchdown. Ryan Berry to attempt the point after. And the kick is through. Pierre takes the lead, 7-6. The difference, the extra point, with 5:06 remaining in this opening quarter on the T-Area Titans YouTube channel. The Governors answer right back on a 4-play, 61-yard drive, taking a minute 22 off the clock. And it is a touchdown with a point after that is good. The touchdown from Cade Kaiser, 42 yards on the quarterback keeper, 7-6. Pierre on top of T. Jerry Palesci joined by Chad Berger, Andrew Griffin, the Hall of Famer down at USD. In the booth where it is slightly warm, T will have a chance to return. Doing the honors is Ethan Viss, and Viss, Jake's a nice juke move across the 25-yard line, and that's going to spring him forward out to the 31. I mean, just hurdle, just play track right there. Found a little bit of a seam for Ethan Viss.
And the part that I really liked about it was he secured the football when he made that contact, when he went up to go into that contact. That was a great job by Viss.
Here come the Titans, 1st and 10, 4 minutes, 58 seconds on the clock here in the first quarter. Conrad under center, hands it off, and Titans have nowhere to go.
Yeah, it looked like maybe the Governor defensive front lined up in a little bit different place than the Titans offensive line. We're expecting them to. A couple offensive linemen were facing the wrong way there. Obviously, that's not a good sign when you're trying to run the ball.
And that's Emmett Anderson of Pierre that got there. Again, he's the team leader in tackles for loss this year with 14.5. This one, though, stays right at the line of scrimmage at 2nd and 10. Conrad with two backs, hands it off. DeYoung will get the carry. DeYoung breaks free down the middle of the field. There he goes. He's got a couple of guys to beat. He's going to slash to the left side, finds another lane, and he's gone.
What an individual effort there by Keegan DeYoung. Broke through the line of scrimmage, able to use some of his speed, use a little bit of cutback right there at the end, and score from the other side of midfield for the Titans.
Keegan DeYoung now with 89 yards rushing and the touchdown here in this contest. He breaks free for 63 yards. And the Titans are right back on top. Racing his way out to the field was Ethan Viss.
I think the Titans are going to go for two here, and they didn't have the right personnel out there.
Cody Peterson, who is the right tackle for the Titans, he also rushes out. Titans will go for two. Conrad went to give it to DeYoung, but it's on the ground.
In high school football on a PAT, as soon as the attempt is failed, then the ball is dead, so they cannot return that.
It is 12-7, 4:08 remaining here in the opening quarter. We'll hold on to it here, but we have already seen 3 drives, 3 long rushes, 3 touchdowns.
Yeah, just what we expected at the beginning here. The weather not really playing much of a factor at all. Both teams, that was a little bit sarcastic there, Jerry, but both teams are obviously, showing off some of their high-powered offensive tools, weapons that they have here. It's just, man, what a night for football. This is great.
This is exactly what you would sometimes order here in South Dakota. The only thing on the bingo card tonight, will we see a punt into the wind that goes for negative yardage? It's happened before.
Potentially.
That's a Howard Wood Field staple. I don't know if that's I'd have to check with Pete Roberts, our statistician here at Titan Stadium, to see if that's happened here. But I know that's happened up in Sioux Falls a couple of times.
Yeah, one time when I was coaching at Sioux Falls Lincoln, O'Gorman actually had that happen against us in a game, and they were able to pick up the ball and then run it for a first down. It's weird stuff happens in windy conditions.
Well, Chad, I'm just going to bet you I don't think we see it tonight. I think both these teams are they'll go for it on 4th down if they have to. Pierre, for one, has not really punted the football at all this season. They've only had 2 punt attempts. They haven't kicked a field goal all season, only point after. So you expect with Steve Steele and And the Govs, that they would go for it on 4th down anyway. And that's in normal conditions. Pierre will try to return out to the 35-yard line. That's where the Govs will take over. But I brought up the stats as Pierre came out with Cade Kaiser and company and what he, along with Zabel, have been able to do throughout the course of not only this year, but over the last few years. You hear the name Zabel for Pierre. It's kind of just a standard name that has a lot of yardage everywhere. And you almost expect that Pierre might come out and throw the football a little bit, but they have stuck to the ground, and they're doing the exact same thing that T has done. Kaiser calls for it. He wants to keep it himself. He shakes off one. Halber racing from behind, but Kaiser's still going to pick up 9.
Yeah, that's about the 3rd time in the 5 offensive plays or 6 offensive plays that Pierre has run that the Titans have gotten decent pressure, penetration into the offensive backfield, but they just haven't been able to make a play or wrap up on the ball carrier.
Injured Titan down on the field, as they will tend over to him. Pierre so far rushing the football 64 yards. T, of course, with 143. This is Pierre's 2nd possession. Neither quarterback has attempted a pass, and I'm almost curious to see how long it might be until that happens.
Well, if Pierre's going to pass, now's the time because they have the wind at their back. I don't know if passing into the wind would be too optimal tonight. I was watching some of the pregame warm-ups, and the receivers were just having a tough time hauling in some of those passes thrown by the coaching staff and the quarterbacks earlier. So it might be a lot of ground and pound here tonight.
It was Dawson Eimers who is shaken up for the Titans. He's on the near sideline. Will be looked at 2nd down, 2 yards to go from the 42-yard line. 2 receivers off to the left, 1 to the right for Kaiser, who's alone out of the shotgun. Calls for it, keeps it, and tries to cut left, but the Titans are there. Kaiser's going to lose a yard, all thanks in part to the pressure put up front. And helping get over there for the Titans was Jacob Youngye.
Yeah, good job by Youngye there of wrapping up, not letting the ball carrier slip off of that tackle, and just bringing him down to the ground. But as you said, this is probably 4-down territory for Pierre, so I'm expecting to see a couple attempts here.
2 minutes, 56 seconds remaining, opening quarter. Pierre's faced with a 3rd down and 2 from the 42-yard line. Kaiser taking his time. 2 by 2 on the receivers. Calls for it, keeps it. Off left side, finds a seam. 1st down, midfield, out to the 45, and is spun out of bounds.
Keeper by Kaiser to the left side. Knocked out of bounds.
That moves the sticks here for Pierre, and they go inside of T territory.
Yeah, Governors are just running that quarterback power. Reminds me of, the Tim Tebow days back in the day. Just shotgun snap to the quarterback, him follow his blockers, find a hole up in there. No running backs in the backfield, so it's him or no one.
It's 1st and 10. Kaiser waiting for blocks ahead of him, and he will get to the 40-yard line. He's put down to the turf by Carter Turek. But Kaiser will still pick up 4. At this point, you almost wonder if, outside of Brock Mosier getting a carry for 2 yards, if Kaiser's going to hand the ball off again. 2nd down and 6. And the Titans jump offside. Our official tonight is Gary Duffy. Makes it 2nd down and 1 following the penalty.
36-yard line, 2nd and 1.
This is 2nd down and really inches. They need to put the football right at the 35-yard line. It is inside of the 36. 2 minutes, 3 seconds on the clock, 1st quarter. Kaiser back to throw. Gives it towards the near sideline. It's broken up, incomplete. Pass intended for George Staley.
Excellent coverage there, but the Titans got really good pressure from the front, broke through there. We're able to force that pass a little bit. So it's still 3rd and short, due to the penalty. I'm sure that the Titan coaching staff is telling the defensive line to watch the ball, don't jump across, don't give them the free first down. We'll see what they dial up right here.
It is 3rd and inches. Kaiser keeps it himself again, and the second effort propels him to a first down across the 35 to the 33. He has been a patient runner. Almost takes a half a second as soon as he touches the football just to stand back and wait to see where the blocks develop in front of him, and that's where he takes off.
Well, when there's no handoff to a running back, you kind of get that little bit of time back, so he can hesitate a little bit to wait for his blocks to get set up and then hit that hole really hard.
90 seconds remaining first quarter. Pierre has the wind at their backs, at least for that time frame. Here's a handoff, and just trying to push the pile forward. Not a whole lot of room to go, as Pierre will get the carry for Mosier.
Half yard or so gained on that one. Good job by the Titans up front. Really impressed with the Titan defensive line so far in this drive, other than the 2 offsides penalties they've had.
Second down, 10 yards to go. We even go with 2 tackles from that defensive edge position, And Pierre's taking their time. The clock down to 50 seconds. Play clock starting to wind down. It's under 10. Kaiser with Mosier behind him. Option play, flips it over. And the carry will bring Pierre inside the 30-yard line. And they'll get it out to the 27. So the clock is at 30 seconds. Pierre is not in any form of a hurry. I was wondering, and the reason I kept bringing it up is the fact that the wind is at their back. They will switch sides of the field here momentarily. It is 3rd down, 5 yards to go. Kaiser looking over at Coach Steele on the far sideline for a play call. Down to 5, they pitch it, left side. Here come the Titans. And just trying to get that outside edge and finding some form of room was Trey Lewis. And Lewis maybe gets a couple of yards at the most. But that's going to end the first quarter. Tyler Reed on that last tackle. The end of 1, it's the Titans 12, the Govs 7. This is the T-Area Titans YouTube channel.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in South Dakota needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
Welcome back to Titans Stadium. As we get ready to start the second quarter, it's the Titans 12, Pierre 7. Jerry Palesci joined alongside by Chad Berger. Andrew Griffin, our on-site producer, who is getting a little bit of rain in his face, but he is sticking it out. He's not having too big of a problem. 12-7 It is Pierre, though, on the move. And what will be a big play, it is 4th down. It is 4th and 4, now with Pierre going into the wind. Kaiser, the quarterback, standing 5 yards behind the ball. 2 receivers to the right side, calls for it. Back to pass on this 4th down, over the middle, incomplete. It's a turnover on downs, and the Titans will take the football.
Yeah, that was an interesting play call. You know, they thought they had the post route deep on the left side here, and just a little bit of an overthrown pass by the quarterback on that one. We'll see how the Titans respond.
Titans on offense through that first quarter went 143 yards, everything on the ground. They notched 6 first downs. Here's 1st down and 10 from the 27-yard line. It's a carry for Riley Svanda, and he's going to be wrapped up and pushed. Spencer Schonsberg and company getting on over to him. So it's a gain of a yard at the most. It'll be 2nd down and 9.
Just got the first quarter stats in here, Jerry. There was, it looks like 1 pass attempt in the first quarter. So this is a running football game right now.
Be 2nd down and 9. Yeah, we got our answer. It was right towards the end of the first quarter of when the first pass may have been thrown. For T, that question's still out there. Here's a give left side, and again, not a whole lot of room to work with. As Ethan Viss this time around will get the call. It'll be 3rd down and 5.
See if the Titans go back to that option and put the ball in Conrad's hands with a chance to make a play here on 3rd down.
Brenner Conrad throughout this game, he has found some daylight. He went for a 26-yard touchdown. He has 3 carries for 36. He'll go under center. 2 backs behind him. 3rd down and 5. There was movement up front. He's back to throw. Conrad looking. Cuts to the left side. Has some open field. He's going to take off. He has enough for a 1st down out towards midfield where he's wrestled down by the ankles. It is a 1st down for the Titans at the 49-yard line.
Yeah, you thought we were going to see a pass attempt there, but nothing was open. Brenner with a wise decision to just tuck that ball, get as many yards as he could, and he was able to get that 1st down and get the ball out near midfield for the Titans.
Titan Winkler deserves some credit as well for Pierre standing back from the safety position because he was truly one of the only players to stay home on that defensive side and really was one that saved what could have been an even bigger play for the Titans.
Absolutely.
His 1st down and 10 from the 49. 10 minutes remaining, first half. And a penalty flag flies.
So it's an encroachment. What happens there is the offensive players lined up in the neutral zone. Typically, the officials tell them to get back. If they don't, then they have to throw the penalty flag on that one.
Makes it 1st and 15 from the 44. 3 penalties charged against T, totaling 15 yards so far. From the 44, high snap. Conrad hands it over. It is DeYoung on the carry. DeYoung just going to give a piggyback ride to a defender across the 50 out to the 49. A nice carry for Keegan DeYoung, who's going to pick up about 7.
But because of that penalty, it's 2nd and 8, after that 7-yard carry. Titans had everyone in that formation almost in the tackle box. It was a really tight formation. You knew that they were going to try to run it inside right there.
Clock rolling, 9:19 remaining. First half, T area up 12-7. Conrad calling for it on a 2nd and 8. He's going to give it back to DeYoung. No, he fakes it, keeps it himself. And Conrad will be stopped at the 45.
Conrad brought down on the play by Sarda.
This has been the one team in Class AA that has just had T's number since T went up to Class AA in 2021. They have been undefeated going into this year against all teams not named Pierre. Entering tonight, they're 0-4 all-time against the Govs. The Yankton loss from 3 weeks ago was the first time they lost to a AA team not named Pierre. Here's 3rd down and 4. From the 45, Conrad trying to get a little extra step for a 1st down, but depending on the spot, he might just be a hair short.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to be
place
short.
it. Yep. Yeah, all indication looks like it's going to be 4th and inches.
Officials are going to bring out the sticks to measure.
This is also the first time between these two teams that they have played here in T. Of course, you had 2 meetings that took place over the state championship last year. You had a regular season game that was played out in Pierre.
Interesting stat, Jerry. So this is the first time the Governors have seen the field here at Titan Stadium. I was going to mention, usually in these type of situations, the lines are straight on these field turf fields, so they don't have to bring out the change. I think they're just doing it so they can spot the football correctly on the hashes. They don't have to move the ball. Maybe misplace it a little bit, but yeah, the Titans are short based on the mark.
Need about a half a yard.
Back when I played, Jerry, on those grass fields, the lines were painted on, and sometimes they were really wavy from side to side.
And back when you played, Chad, I'm sure you just were happy if you had some grass on the field. Here is 4th down and 1 from the 42, and the Titans will push it forward for a first down. Brenner Conrad.
Yeah, Conrad, that's just a great play for him. They ended up whistling it dead. Conrad actually snuck out of the pile and was running downfield, but
that forward progress rule.
Yeah, they blew it dead at that point. But with a guy Brenner's size, 6'4", 220 pounds, that's probably the best play call in a situation like that.
Clock moving, 7:45 remaining second quarter. It's 1st and 10 from the 40. Snap, handoff to Young, cuts left side. He's angling towards the sideline, puts a shoulder down, gets a couple of extra yards, and he's just ridden out of bounds. Keegan DeYoung with yet another strong carry, and good for a first down out to the 30.
The Titans are really coming out tonight and trying to be really physical with Pierre in this game. DeYoung got the edge on that one, but then he didn't just step out of bounds. He didn't just go down. He wanted to kind of put a little hit on the Pierre defender on that sideline over there.
It feels like for Keegan DeYoung, that's a story every week too, is he just thrives off of contact. He's kind of like the boxer that doesn't get going until they get punched in the face one time. That's Keegan DeYoung. He's not ready to go until he lays at least a shoulder pad into somebody's chest. Here's a carry for Viss. Tries to go the same direction, off left, picks up a yard. The wind is still howling. You can see it on the screen here. That is just rain. It's just a sideways rain, and we probably should be thankful to the fact that it's not 15 degrees colder, because if so, we would be in, well, it'd be almost like a blizzard. The way that it's coming down. It's crazy, but a good number of fans have come out here to brave the elements.
It's football weather, Jerry. Football weather.
A dome is not a bad idea. Just saying. 2nd down and 9 from the 29-yard line. Here's a handoff and a give. And getting spun down to the turf is McKinney on the carry.
Seems like the Titans really like running that power over here to the right side. When they run that, see if they go back to the edge now on the left on this next play call. They're down in 6 or so, 7, 6.
It will be officially 3rd and 6 from the 26. The clock is under 7 minutes to go, second quarter. Titans approaching 200 offensive yards. First down here, we'll give it to them. It is 3rd down. Titans with a 12-7 lead, looking to extend the advantage. They will hand it off. Trying to follow a blocker outside is Ethan Viss. Open field tackle made, however. Stops him down in the tracks. For Pierre in doing so was Trey Lewis. It's 4th down.
Yeah, there's not a chance that a field goal attempt is coming up here. We're going to see a 4th down play just like we did for Pierre on the last series for them.
Ethan Viss, 5 carries for 13 yards. It's 4th and 4 from the 24-yard line. Conrad hands it to DeYoung. He has to go backwards, and he's brought down. What a tackle for a loss. And again, I believe that's Trey Lewis that was back there for Pierre. It is.
Yeah, and Lewis was pretty much the only guy there for Pierre. If DeYoung's able to break that tackle and get outside of him, then he's got a lot of green in front of him. But Lewis did a great job of wrapping up and not letting go on that one.
Pierre will take over with 5:59 remaining here in the second quarter, trailing 12-7. Kaiser with 2 receivers left and right out of the shotgun, keeps it himself down the middle of the field, and Kaiser will push his way towards the 39-yard line.
I keep waiting for one of these for him to kind of stop and do one of those jump passes to a tight end or something over the top. But
I feel like it's coming.
With the wind conditions the way they are, I think they'll probably hold that one till the second half.
2nd down and 4 from the 39. Kaiser rushes right. Now attacks north-south, has a 1st down.
Carry by Kaiser. Needs 4 for the 1st down. It's 5.
It's kind of old school single wing type football. You know, you got the runner in the back, gets the direct snap, and then follows the blockers and is able to pick up the 1st down.
Well, if there was ever a battle of the trenches, that if somebody really loves offensive line versus defensive line, your game is tonight.
If I was watching from in the stadium, I'd be standing right over there in the end zone so you could see those holes open up because that's the best view for the offensive and defensive line.
Kaiser will carry again, and he will get out to midfield. The Titans are there. That offensive line, however, for Pierre, is really doing a great job up front. Ty Mickle is the offensive tackle on the left side. Lucas Coleman, Matthew Brewer, Zayden Rounds, and Jacob Mikkinen all doing the work up front. 2nd down and 4 from the 50. 4:24 remaining, 2nd quarter. Kaiser rushing right and finds a seam for a 1st down. Steps out of bounds near the 40-yard line, depending on the spot.
Yeah, it seemed like the first few drives the Titans were getting a little bit of penetration. I don't know if they're getting tired or what exactly is going on up front now for the Titans, but Pierre seems like their offensive line is getting a little bit better push now than they were earlier in the game.
1st and 10 from the 44. Snap, Kaiser rushes right, and he breaks free of another tackle. Extra space and room across the 30-yard line, down at the 28. Andrew Oplin checking in for the Titans, just trying to find some fresh legs on that defensive line. Jacob Youngye in right now. Usually is a guard on the offensive side of the ball. Mixes in once in a while on defense. Seen a little bit more of him tonight playing on the defensive line. 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. And a penalty flag flies. False start coming in against Pierre.
You mentioned Andrew Oplin. He's actually listed in the program as a 5'10", 222-pound fullback, but he plays nose tackle for the defense for the T-Area Titans.
They're going to reset an extra 5 seconds to make it 3:40 remaining in the 2nd quarter. At an old middle school, high school coach, Daryl Cortan, who used to tell everybody it doesn't matter the size of the defensive lineman, but if you could be the lowest man on the line, you'd win every time at nose guard. So maybe that's just the way it needs to be.
Yeah, and quickness at that position as well. You know, you're right in front of the ball, and you're the first one to see when the ball's snapped. And so if you can beat that center off the snap, it does add a little bit of extra, pressure to the offense.
I don't know what they're doing over on the other side of the press box. The official, Gary Duffy, asked for the clock to be put at 3:40. He had to do so about 4 times, so I'm going to have to mess with whoever that is at halftime. 1st down, 15 yards to go following the penalty. Kaiser keeps it right, finds a seam again, and now the Titans come over and bury him down to the turf after a pickup of 5. Tim Halber will get the tackle.
Yeah, it looks like the Governors are able to kind of hook that defensive end on that side successfully a few plays on this drive. And, Jerry, I don't know what your speed is like right now, but I feel like maybe you could have got a few yards on that play.
I guarantee 8. Put me in, coach. 2nd down, 8 yards to go from the 27, and the Titans jump. Clock is going to start really playing a factor here with 2 minutes and 45 seconds remaining in the 2nd quarter. As Pierre now deep inside a T territory. We'll have a 2nd down and 3. Start wondering with T having all 3 timeouts if they're going to try to get the football back in any capacity. I mean, granted, it all has to do with what they do on the defensive side, but here is a throw towards the end zone. It's off the fingertips, but a penalty flag flies on the far sideline. The pass was intended for Jet Zabel. Matt Halber is charged with a defensive hold.
Yeah, that's an unfortunate one for the Titans. I don't think he had to. I don't think the ball would have been caught if he would have not touched him at that point. But, you know, as a defender, you just never want to get burned for a touchdown. So you just try to do whatever you can when you're in that position to not give up the touchdown.
It is 1st down and 10 now from the 12. Kaiser with 2 options, right and left. Calls for it. It's down on the ground, picks it up, just goes straight ahead. Kaiser's going to pick up a couple of yards. Shoestring tackle for Dawson Eimers.
Titans showing a little bit of blitz on that one. Brought a couple guys up. You know, I think that there's when they see that formation, they're just thinking quarterback run at this point. So we might go back to that jump pass, but we'll see how that turns out right now.
Kaiser now with 130 rushing yards. Under 2 minutes remaining, 2nd quarter. The clock is rolling. As this is Zabel that is going to take the direct snap. Zabel off right, and he will spin his way inside the 10-yard line down towards the 5. It was a slow developing play, but Jet Zabel, the tight end, off the direct snap, will set up a 3rd down and 5 after a pickup of 2. And here come the Titans on the timeouts. So it'll be 3rd down. Also gives their defense just an opportunity here to breathe.
Yeah, and if you remember, you know, T got the opening kickoff. So Pierre, I'm assuming, will take the ball in the second half to start the second half. So the Titans want to try to, you know, get a little bit of an opportunity to touch the football here at the end of the quarter without giving Pierre back-to-back possessions, one at the end of the half and then one at the beginning of the second half.
Pierre started this drive with 6 minutes remaining in the 2nd quarter. So far, they have ran 8 plays.
Return to action. Ball is on the 6-yard line.
So they are faced with a 3rd down and 4 from the 6-yard line. 1:28 remaining 2nd quarter. As Kaiser will stand out on the shotgun. Went to clap his hands together. Takes a step back. Now steps forward. Calls for it. And a penalty flag. This is going against Pierre. Makes it 3rd and 9 from the 11-yard line.
Back to the 11-yard line. It'll be 3rd and 9 from there.
The crowd making noise. Stomping on the wet bleachers. Trying to throw Pierre off as it's 3rd down and 9. Kaiser back to throw. Pressure coming. Rolling to his right. Fires to the end zone. It's broken up. Incomplete. Ethan Viss gets over there and knocks it straight out of the hands out of George Staley.
The end zone by number 30, Ethan Viss. The Titans brings it 4th and 9.
What a play by Viss to get over and break up that pass. I think the wind might have had a little to do with it, but just great job by not giving up on the play for Ethan Viss.
It's 4th and 9. Pierre all season long has not attempted a field goal. We're not going to get one here either. 4th down, 9 yards to go from the 11. Pressure coming. Kaiser gets his way out of it, still looking down the field, is able to get out to the left side. A penalty flag does fly. Kaiser will find his way into the end zone. He's going to celebrate for a moment, but it's coming back.
Yeah, anytime as an offensive lineman those scramble drills go into effect, you really you have to be very disciplined and say, hey, my guy was going this way and now he's going that way. And you cannot just grab a hold of him and because the refs are going to see that every single time in that type of play.
When the Titans took a timeout, it was 3rd down and 4. Penalty on the false start move, Pierre back. Then you had the pass play that was broken up, and now you have the holding penalty. So it was going to be a 3rd and 4 out of a timeout for Pierre, is now transformed into a 4th and 19 from the 21-yard line. Kaiser back to throw. Down the middle of the field, double covered. It is hit down to the turf, incomplete. And the Titans will take the football over on downs. Sam Wordle was the one that batted it down to the turf like a volleyball. And the Titans will have 1 minute even on the clock to work with. 2 timeouts, the wind at their back. Or does Scott Fry say we have a 12-7 lead? Let's go to halftime.
I think they'll go 5 wide and throw it. No, I'm just kidding. I think I think we'll see a little bit more running game, see if they can pop one up big here, and then maybe run out the clock.
Renner Conrad keeps it, looking for a block down the right side. Is able to find a little bit of a hole, and Conrad is shy of the 30-yard line, and here comes a timeout. Took 11 seconds off the clock. It's the second charge timeout for T area. And we'll be 2nd down and about 2.
You know, I always say you can't take those timeouts with you into the second half. So good gain, 8-yard run on 1st down. Put them in a good 2nd and short position here. Titans can pretty much do whatever they want on this play without a whole lot of penalty, unless there is a penalty, of course. But and then they still have that other timeout in their pocket if they need it, if there's a significant play coming up on one of the next couple plays here.
Between these two teams, T 196 rushing yards, and that's all of their offense so far. Pierre, the same story for them, 141 rushing yards. That's every drop of offense that they have had in this contest. We have not had a completed pass on either side of the football, and T has not even attempted one. Pierre is 0 for 4 with Kaiser.
The one time they thought about it, Conrad tucked it and ran for a 1st down.
It is 2nd down and 2. Conrad goes under center. They'll hand it off and trying to get outside on the carry this time around for T area is McKinney, and McKinney is just thrown down to the turf. It's a big body he ran into. The stop made by Samuel Valley. And it will be 3rd down, but
now Pierre called a timeout.
Pierre will call a timeout.
Well, I take that back. I said earlier there was not much they couldn't do. Well, losing 6 yards on that play was probably not an optimal play call for T in that position.
It's just a big game of chess going on right now because now the Titans will be faced with a 3rd and long. Pierre still has 2 timeouts remaining. There's 41 seconds on the clock. And the Titans have that 12-7 lead.
It'll be interesting. Earlier the Titans had some good success running outside to the left side. Pierre seems to have shored that up on the last couple of possessions. They did have a good play when Conrad went back to pass and all the defensive backs went with the receivers, and then Conrad was kind of able to pick his own route to go. So we'll see what the Titans come up with here.
Will be 3rd down and 7 from the 24-yard line out of the timeout. Conrad goes under center, puts Viss in motion from right to left. He will go to throw. Down the middle of the field, it is intercepted. It is picked off, and it will be Trey Lewis, who has had himself a night on the defensive side with the interception out towards the right side, and he returns the football down towards the 30-yard line. Depending on where they mark him out of bounds, which is hard to see from our vantage point.
Tackle after the interception by number 55 here.
And to make matters worse, for the Titans, a face mask penalty will set Pierre up deep inside of T territory.
Well, I don't know if those last two plays could have gone any worse for T. That was very suboptimal for the Titans. Loss on the second down play and then third down play, throw the interception, and get a penalty on top of it.
So depending on where they mark the play dead, they said half the distance. And it appears that they put the football at the 14-yard line. So they marked it dead, of course, then at the 28. Bring it back to the 14. It will be first down and 10. And, Chad, you're right. That could not have gone any worse for team.
Yeah, they really made me eat my words on that one.
Pierre takes over with 27 seconds remaining in the second quarter. Needing a big stop. Kaiser back to throw. Pressure coming. Lobs it to the end zone. It is broken up incomplete. Another great play from Sam Wordle.
Yeah, and I was really impressed with the pressure. I didn't see which Titan ended up getting pressure up there, but good pass rush move there. It's one of those old Reggie White hump moves. Defensive tackle started going one way and threw the offensive lineman the other way.
Second and 10 from the 14-yard line. 19 seconds left in the quarter. Back to throw. Kaiser down the middle of the field. He goes. He takes off, cuts, and slashes to the right side, trying to get out of bounds. There is a penalty flag that did fly, though, unless my eyes are deceiving me.
I saw something there too, Jerry. They're pointing T's way.
Defensive holding coming in on T.
Correction. It'll be first down. Penalty goes against the Titans for holding. First down.
A little bit of confusion out here with the call and what's going on. Usually defensive holding at the upper levels is an automatic first down.
Correction. It's half the distance. It's still second down. Just give him the game, Ralph.
All right.
Second down. Now ball to 7-yard line.
So it's not an automatic first down. It'll just be a half the distance penalty, and so it'll still be second down.
Puts the ball at the 7-yard line. Steve Steele, the head coach of Pierre, is having a conversation with Gary Duffy, the head official. There's 11 seconds on the clock here in the second quarter. And I think we're going to get a play going. Here we go.
We do have a crowd mic out here, so guarantee Jerry and I are professionals. We're not, we don't have a rooting interest here.
Second down and 3. From the 7-yard line, Kaiser calls for it, rolling right side, looking for a block ahead. He follows the block. He angles his way towards the pylon. Did he reach across? I don't see a signal, but based on Pierre, it's a touchdown.
Yeah, I saw the white hat turn towards the crowd and put both hands up, so that means that he was able to break that pylon.
Touchdown for the Gubs with 5 seconds remaining in the second quarter. And that puts them on top. Ryan Berry to attempt the point after. Berry's kick is on the way, and it is through. 5 seconds remaining. 2-point lead for Pierre, 14-12. Chad, you brought it up. There, that was probably as bad of an exchange and end of a first half for T as what you could ever draw up or imagine.
Well, but from the same perspective, you mentioned they could have ran the clock out. They could have tried to just, take a knee. But, who was it you said you play to win the game? Herm Edwards? Yeah, I mean, T's trying to win the game here. They ran a few plays that they thought they could have success with, and unfortunately just didn't go their way on those ones. Pierre made a couple nice plays, and now they were able to put up another touchdown at the end of the first half.
14-12. Yeah, we're not trying to make it sound like it's a Miami football situation or anything along those lines. It's just a series of unfortunate events that took place for T.
Yeah, exactly. And as we mentioned earlier, Pierre does get the ball to start the second half.
Here's the kickoff. And Pierre will just boot this out of bounds.
Based on what we've seen, I don't think T will try any type of a razzle-dazzle play here at the end. But we'll. Then again, I've been wrong before.
Out of bounds, Titans will take over first and 10 on the 35-yard line.
They will mark the football down at the 35. 5 seconds remaining. Conrad will go out of the shotgun with DeYoung next to him. He has 3 options to the left side lined up. He's back to throw. He's looking. He wants the near side. Fires, and it is intercepted almost. Oh, well, it was a free ball that was right there into the hands of Spencer Schonsberg. But he's not able to bring it in, but it brings us to halftime anyway. Halftime here from T-Area High School. In Titan Stadium, it is Pierre 14, T-Area 12. We'll get to the halftime stats when we come back. This is the T-Area Titans YouTube channel.
Want to have fun and get in on the action?
Heck yes, that'd be awesome.
Have great attention to detail? Want to stay active?
Definitely.
Want to give back to the student athletes in your community?
Obviously, yes.
Then you'd make an excellent high school sports official. We need more officials in South Dakota because with no high school officials, there are no high school sports. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
This message presented by the SDHSAA.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in South Dakota. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the SDHSAA.
A game without a crowd is just a scrimmage. A performance without an audience is just a rehearsal. Without your presence, high school sports and the performing arts aren't possible. Ensure that these essential extracurricular activities continue to enrich the lives of students in South Dakota. Purchase a ticket to your local high school's game or performance.
This message presented by the SDHSAA.
Halftime here at Titan Stadium. I'm Jerry Palesci, joined by Chad Berger and the man that's making me talk, Andrew Griffin. It is halftime. We'll get you the halftime stats from this one. A very run-heavy game as expected with the weather conditions the way that they are. For the Titans, 29 offensive plays for 191 yards. However, they trail 14-12. Pierre, on the other hand, 21 plays for 148 yards. Both teams with 9 first downs in that first half. Take a look at some of the individual leaders so far. First for the Titans, Brenner Conrad throwing the football. He's attempted 2. He has 1 interception. So no yards, 1 pick, almost a second interception to close out the first half. However, that was thankfully dropped by Spencer Schonsberg. Rushing the football for the Titans, it's Keegan DeYoung with 8 carries for 97 yards and a touchdown. Brenner Conrad with 8 carries for 69 yards and a score. Ethan Viss, he's had some trouble running the football, just 5 attempts for 13 yards, and Cole McKinney with 5 attempts for 10 yards. The other side for Pierre, it's been all Cade Kaiser. 16 rushes, 137 yards, and 2 touchdowns. His longest one for 42. He's averaging about 8.7 yards per carry. Throwing the football, he's 0 for 5. No yards, no interceptions, nothing along those lines. Just hasn't been able to connect with anybody. Trey Lewis, rushing the football, 2 carries for 6 yards. Jet Zabel with a carry for 3. Brock Mosier with 2 carries for just 2 yards. The name Trey Lewis, if you've heard me say his name a couple of times over for Pierre tonight, it's mostly on the defensive side. He has been in on pretty much everything. He has 6 total tackles and a tackle for a loss. On the other side, for T, Tim Halber with 5 total tackles, Jessen Wiebinga with 3, and Keegan DeYoung with 3. Let's get you your scoring summary as Brenner Conrad got things going for T, taking him 11 plays, 80 yards down the field, took 5 minutes and 32 seconds off the clock. It was a quarterback keeper for 26 yards out. The point after was blocked by Carson Stosher. Made it 6-0. And that extra point proved to be pretty important here in the first half, as Pierre answered back on a 4-play, 61-yard drive, taking a minute 22 off the clock. Cade Kaiser with the quarterback keeper for 42 yards. The extra point was good, gave Pierre the lead 7-6. Then in the late part of the first quarter, Keegan DeYoung with a rushing touchdown from 63 yards out. T went for 2, and Brenner Conrad fumbled the snap, made it 12-7. And then Pierre with 5 seconds remaining in the first half, it is Cade Kaiser with a rushing touchdown from 7 yards out. The extra point is good, capping a 2-play, 14-yard drive that took 22 seconds off the clock. And that's where it stands right now, 14-12. So, Chad, when you take a look at the score, I mean, you could point at a point after that was blocked. You can point at going for 2 after the second touchdown and not getting it. It's the difference on the scoreboard right now. But ultimately, between these two teams, if you look at that first half, and maybe this is kind of the frustrating part if you're a Titan fan watching this, is you feel like this whole game, outside of one defensive possession, and then the way the first half unfolded or ended, it's really been in T's hands, but they trail at half.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, T, like you mentioned, T has more rushing yards right now, more total yards. Kind of really started off strong, dominating that line of scrimmage, and it's got to be frustrating to give up that late touchdown. You know, when T had the lead late in the half, and then just give up another touchdown to be trailing at half, knowing that Pierre gets the ball first coming out in the second half.
Pierre looked very good, though, in terms of rushing the football with their quarterback in Cade Kaiser. We kind of joked coming in. I gave all the stats in regards to what he has done all season long, throwing for over 1,400 yards, and he has one main target with Zabel, who has caught 42 passes this year, and you know that Pierre likes to throw the football around, and we kind of joked about that, knowing that with the weather conditions today, we're probably going to see mostly a ground-heavy game, and they really haven't turned to their running back in Brock Mosier. They really haven't turned to anybody else but just the quarterback, and Cade Kaiser's having himself a first half.
He is. He's doing a great job of reading those blocks of his offensive linemen, finding a little bit of daylight and squirting through there. And, he's got over 100 yards at half rushing here. Got the 2 touchdown runs for him, so 8.6 yards, as you said, per carry. That's pretty decent.
It's going to be a great second half coming up in approximately 8 minutes' time. Before we step aside for halftime, Chad's got some scores from around South Dakota. What's going on tonight?
In Class 11 AAA, Brandon Valley beat Sioux Falls Jefferson 34-6. Sioux Falls Roosevelt is up 28-0 on Rapid City Stevens at halftime. O'Gorman with a big 42-7 win over Rapid City Central. Harrisburg is up 41-0 on Brookings at halftime. And Sioux Falls Lincoln and Sioux Falls Washington are just kicking off right now. In Class 11 AA, Aberdeen Central, a little bit of a surprise here, is up 15-14 on number 2 Yankton at halftime. Watertown's up 35-0 on Spearfish with just under a minute left in the first half. Huron's up 13-7 on Mitchell at halftime. Our game right here, Pierre is ahead of T Area 14-12 at halftime. Sturgis is up on Douglas 42-7 at near the end of the first half, and as I mentioned earlier, Harrisburg leads Brookings.
Speaking of Douglas, they get to go to Pierre next week. That concludes the regular season for the Govs coming up next week, and for T, on Thursday night this upcoming week, they will conclude their regular season here at home against Watertown. Your halftime score, it is Pierre 14, T Area 12. We'll step aside for halftime. We'll come back with the start of the third quarter on the T Area Titans YouTube channel.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in South Dakota needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
All right, folks, let's get started. Parents, thanks for coming. As many of you know, I'm Coach Mather. Tonight I want to talk about the season, of which I only have one expectation: that everybody gets stronger. When I say get stronger, I'm not referring solely to physical strength. Sure, we'll be in the weight room, we'll be running stairs, but we're also going to focus on developing mental toughness and grit, because those are the characteristics that allow us to achieve greatness both on and off the court. So, how do we develop those things? By getting comfortable with a challenge, by cultivating the confidence necessary to overcome adversity in all forms. That's why I coach. That's my purpose. Every member of this team can lean on me, and I'll teach them how they can lean on themselves and each other.
This message presented by the SDHSAA and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day: interscholastic sports in South Dakota. This message presented by the SDHSAA and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
What's the biggest myth about interscholastic performing arts? That you have to be the most talented or experienced to participate. The truth is, anyone can be a part of their school's performing arts. There are countless opportunities for students to participate, from theater, choir, and band to speech and debate. The bottom line, if you want to perform, there's a place for you.
This message presented by the NFHS and the SDHSAA.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in South Dakota.
This message presented by the SDHSAA and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
We are the NFHS. That stands for the National Federation of State High School Associations. But really, what we stand for, together with the SDHSAA, are the 29,000 high school sports and performing arts students in South Dakota. And so, we stand. We stand for the runners, debate team members, and basketball players. We stand for their coaches, officials, and adjudicators. We stand for the drummers, football players, and actors. We stand for the golfers, singers, and swimmers. We stand as the national leader and advocate for these essential activities and all who participate in them and make them possible, because it is our purpose to ensure that high school students get to play, perform, and compete together. To learn more about who we are and what we stand for, visit nfhs.org.
Timeout! All right! Remember, we're a team that plays together. Listen, the winning will take care of itself. We just have to get everyone involved.
In interscholastic sports, we celebrate what makes every one of us unique. And in the pursuit of a common goal, everyone in the huddle, in the bleachers, and in the community comes together. This message presented by the SDHSAA and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in South Dakota needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
All right, folks, let's get started. Parents, thanks for coming. As many of you know, I'm Coach Mather. Tonight I want to talk about the season, of which I only have one expectation: that everybody gets stronger. When I say get stronger, I'm not referring solely to physical strength. Sure, we'll be in the weight room, we'll be running stairs, but we're also going to focus on developing mental toughness and grit, because those are the characteristics that allow us to achieve greatness both on and off the court. So, how do we develop those things? By getting comfortable with a challenge, by cultivating the confidence necessary to overcome adversity in all forms. That's why I coach. That's my purpose. Every member of this team can lean on me, and I'll teach them how they can lean on themselves and each other.
This message presented by the SDHSAA and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day? Because they teach students important life lessons like teamwork, accountability, and perseverance. School sports are so much more than a game. They're about developing the whole person. That's why they're an essential part of every student's education.
Encourage your student to participate in the last classroom of the day: interscholastic sports in South Dakota. This message presented by the SDHSAA and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
What's the biggest myth about interscholastic performing arts? That you have to be the most talented or experienced to participate. The truth is, anyone can be a part of their school's performing arts. There are countless opportunities for students to participate, from theater, choir, and band to speech and debate. The bottom line, if you want to perform, there's a place for you.
This message presented by the NFHS and the SDHSAA.
Have you noticed bad behavior has become normalized at interscholastic athletic events? Some fans seem angry. They lack civility toward one another. Some even get aggressive and unruly. Time out! What is going on? This has to stop. Let's not forget, school sports aren't just about winning. And they're definitely not an excuse to take your frustrations out on the official or the opponent. They're about teaching lessons like perseverance, respect, and empathy, so students can learn and grow as people, not just as players. We all have a role to play in setting a good example for our students and teaching them these important values. So fans, it's time to step up your game and behave positively at interscholastic athletic events in South Dakota.
This message presented by the SDHSAA and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Welcome back to Titans Stadium as we get set for the start of the second half. I'm Jerry Palesci, joined by Chad Berger. Andrew Griffin is our on-site producer and cameraman. It is 14-12, Pierre on top of T-Area. And Chad, the second half coming up, we kind of alluded to this at halftime here, where it feels like if you're a T fan, you watch that first half, a frustrating circumstance that took place at the end of the first half ultimately leads to Pierre having the lead. But I think there's a lot of things that you could at least feel positive about going into this second half and what they've been able to do, not only controlling some of the clock. They took 13 minutes of the entire first half off the board. They have been able to move the football. There is an opportunity here to finally take down this Pierre Governor team.
There is. It'll be, really up to the T defense on this first drive of the second half to see what kind of fight they can put up against the Governor's offense. If T can come out and stop them right away, then we've got ourselves a ball game. But, if Pierre's able to drive down and score on this first drive, then it's going to be an uphill climb the whole second half.
Throughout the course of the season, the T-Area Titans on the defensive line specifically with Jessen Wiebinga, Carter Turek, Andrew Opland, You had Jacob Youngay working in a little bit here. They have been so strong all season long, and this has really been a true test for them against this Pierre Governor offensive line. And you just know that for them going and getting that break, because Pierre took a lot of time off the clock there in the second quarter as well, and just off of short runs, it was gain of 5, gain of 4, gain of 5. Over and over and over again. So they finally will have some fresh legs here going into the start of the second half. But you're right. I think getting that initial pressure, getting into the face of the quarterback and Cade Kaiser, that's really where it's going to pay dividends here in the second half if they're able to do so.
Yeah, and T doesn't have nearly as much depth as a lot of the schools in AA. Just not as many guys out for football. And they're a growing school district, but, I've got a son who's a junior and a son who's a freshman and another one who's a fifth grader. And by the time that fifth grader gets up into high school, they'll have good numbers on the squad. But right now they're a little bit short. Pierre's got 23 seniors on their squad. They got a large crew here. T's got a lot of guys playing both ways in this game. And sometimes, the second half, this is really where you have to show what you got, show what you're made of. Step up, play both ways, and make a play.
It will be T to kick off, and they will do so with the wind at their back. Griffin Wiebinga will do the honors. 2 will go back deep for Pierre, including Trey Lewis, who had himself a great first half on the defensive side of the football. Don't know if they'll have the chance to return if Griffin decides just to boot this football down the field like really what both teams have done in this situation, in this position. It's going the other direction where we've seen the squib kicks. But we'll see.
Ball already fell off the tee once. If it falls off once more, he's got to get someone to come hold it.
Yep, you called it. Well, Carter Christensen is going to step up and help out Griffin Wiebinga. Carter, probably like everybody else, just being like, don't kick my hand, please.
This is hopefully one of those things they work on in practice.
And here is the kick. This one has a chance to be returned. It takes a bounce straight in the hands at the 10-yard line on the return this time for Pierre. And trying to cut out to the right side is Spencer Eastland. And he's going to get out towards the 30-yard line, but I think the ball popped out.
Eastland with the return.
I don't see an indication here. It's not going to be T football, but it will be spotted at the 33-yard line.
Yeah, that was a really good return set up there. Returned it all the way across the field, was able to find a little lane there and cut it up and got almost all the way to the 35.
2-point lead for the Governors. First possession of the second half. First down and 10 from the 33-yard line. 2-by-2 on the receivers. Kaiser trying to cut left side is going to be brought down to the turf. Oh, what a play. And contained from the outside for T area. And it is Wiebinga with the stop.
It looked like Kaiser gave Wiebinga a stiff arm, but Wiebinga was still able to hold on to his arm and to his leg and bring him down in the backfield for a huge loss.
Chad, you mentioned some of these kids playing both ways, both directions, offense and defense. Well, that's Garrett Wiebinga who got that tackle, and he's the starting right tackle on the offensive side of the football. You got 2 Wiebingas that are out there. Jessen's on the other side of the defensive line. It is second down and 15 from the 28-yard line. Kaiser fires. It is caught and secured by Jet Zabel at the 36-yard line.
If you had the first completed pass of the game, what happened with 10:58 left in the first quarter, then you win the pool for tonight. That was kind of an interesting pass. It looked like it was dying a little bit when it got to the receiver, but just had enough steam to get there.
Third down, 7 yards to go from the 36. Titan fans making noise. Kaiser calls for it. Back to throw. Pressure coming. Lobs it. It is incomplete. Pass intended for Zabel. It was short of his hands. Trailing him in coverage was Dawson Eimers. It will be fourth down.
Great pressure on that one by Carter Turek, making the Pierre Governor quarterback throw off of his back foot and into that wind. It almost had no chance to make it to the receiver.
Well, Zabel is back in punt formation, and according to the official stats put on by Pierre, this would be their third punt this season. Zabel looking down the field, boots it away. High up in the air, the wind starting to pull it backwards, and it will take a Titan bounce towards the 35-yard line. T area comes up big on the first defensive series, and now here comes the offense.
Yeah, that was huge. You know, we talked about it coming out of halftime there, that T had a huge opportunity to kind of turn the momentum back in their favor, and now we'll see if they can step up on the offensive end.
First down and 10 from the 35-yard line. Titans take the football with 10:17 remaining in the third. Viss goes in motion from right to left. Snap, handoff. DeYoung will take it on this first down and 10. And DeYoung will pick up about 3.
There was a hole there initially, but once DeYoung got through that hole, there were a couple Pierre defenders that got him stood up, and he wasn't able to get any further ground.
Big nose tackle Austin Langdow is a senior who is 6'1", 330 pounds. Lines up right over the top of the football. Will be credited with a tackle. Second down and 6 from the 39. Conrad out of the shotgun. 2 backs with him. He'll hand it off, and Riley Svanda will get the carry, and he's tripped up at the ankles. Still going to dive ahead for a nice pickup of 4, using the length of his body to stretch out and get some extra yardage.
Yeah, if Riley's able to keep his footing on that one, he easily picks up the first down, but just got a little bit of enough of a caught on the shoe there to trip him up and make him go down.
Third down and 2 from the 43-yard line. 2 receivers left, 1 man in motion. Conrad hands it off. First down, Titans out to the 50-yard line and a little bit more. A nice carry straight ahead for Keegan DeYoung. Ball be placed at the 47. Now mixing in is Tyler Reed. As Reed will check in. We got the starters entering the game, and it was a little bit of a change for T areas. Cole McKinney got the start. Ethan Viss at running back as well. We've seen Tyler Reed and Riley Svanda get the starting nods over the first part of the season. Here's a handoff. This is DeYoung again on a carry. And DeYoung, about 3 governors are going to need to not even pull him down. Somehow DeYoung slipped through, but another situation which the play was stopped. I thought he hit the turf there for a moment, Chad, but then all of a sudden he's trying to take off at the 30-yard line on the other side.
Well, if the whistle doesn't blow, these guys are kind of trained to go until they hear that whistle.
Second down and 6. Titans as a team averaging about 7 yards a carry. Conrad under center. Snap and the give. It is DeYoung on a carry again. And DeYoung will net about 5. Or 3, excuse me. Needed 6, got half of it.
I mentioned earlier, if the Titans run their power, they usually run it to the right. Jacob Youngye over there, the right guard, I've seen him put a couple Pierre defenders on their back the last few plays here. We'll see if they go back to that power side.
1 receiver stretched out, far side of the field. Third down and a long 3. Conrad hands it off. And trying to power left and pushing the pile forward. It's going to be close to a first down. It's going to be close. The indications, though, is that this will be short. Carry for Ethan Viss. It will be 4th and inches.
Well, we've seen Brenner Conrad twice already on the quarterback sneak. What do you think we got coming up here?
Do you try to go outside? You got him a couple of times over, straight ahead. 4th and inches, and the ball is down on the ground. Conrad did not get the ball cleanly into his hands. Not really sure where the ball ended up, to be honest with you.
It looked like the fullback ended up with it and ran ahead.
I hear a fan here in T calling for forward progress, but couldn't quite see where anything went forward, to be honest with you. It just depends. They're going to measure. And we might need Gene Steratore to bring the index card out. It's Pierre football.
Well, T was going to go with the quarterback sneak. Bad center quarterback exchange between Carter Turek and Brenner Conrad, and very unfortunate for the Titans in that regard. Just turning it over on downs. Tough play for the Titans.
Pierre takes the football, 1st and 10 from the 38. 6 minutes, 28 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Still a 14-12 advantage for the Govs. Two by two on the receivers. Kaiser races towards the right side. Pressure coming from behind. He's stopped behind the line of scrimmage. Dawson Eimers was in the area. Tim Halber as well. It is a tackle for a loss. It will be 2nd down and 13.
Yeah, the Titans made some adjustments at halftime. The safeties aren't sitting back there and waiting for T to kind of set up that run play. They're all attacking. T had tremendous penetration on that play.
2nd down and 13 from the 35. Kaiser, left side rush this time and not going anywhere. Tim Halber shoots the gap and stops Kaiser after a pickup of a yard.
What a play. That's what you want out of your defensive backs, just to read that hole, fill through it as quickly as you can, and wrap up and make the tackle.
That is the 6th tackle in the game for Tim Halber. 3rd down and 11. The crowd into it. Kaiser out of the gun. Penalty flag flies. And the crowd silences. Substitution infraction charged against Pierre. That makes it 3rd and very long.
I don't know exactly what happened there, but it looked like they maybe had too many guys on the field, so he called it before they ran the play.
3rd down and 16. Kaiser back to throw. Over the middle, it is caught by Zabel. He's got room down the field. He storms, and he's going to go. Touchdown, Pierre. 68 yards on the touchdown strike. And the 14th time this season that Jet Zabel has gone to the end zone for the Pierre Governors.
What a pass from Kaiser. He had pressure coming in his face, and he still was able to step into that throw and hit Zabel in stride into the wind.
Ryan Berry to attempt the point after. And this one's blocked. The Titans get to it, but the damage done by the Govs. 5 minutes, 2 seconds left to go here in the third quarter. It is Pierre 20, T Area 12 on the T Area Titans YouTube channel. 68-yard touchdown strike for Kate Kaiser to Jet Zabel. And Pierre has extended the advantage 20-12. The point after was no good, and that's important for T area because the game remains a one-possession advantage for Pierre. Govs will kick off into the wind. 3 are back for T. Ethan Viss is standing at the 20-yard line. Here's the kick. It's an attempted deep kick. Viss comes over, grabs it at the 22. He's going to angle his way towards the middle of the field, out to the 30-yard line, and the extra effort will stop him at the 33.
Returned by number 30, Ethan Viss, brought down.
That drive for Pierre, just 3 plays, 62 yards, taking a minute 26 off the clock. Kaiser now 2 of 8 passing, 76 yards and the 1 touchdown.
Well, T started bringing their safeties up to defend that run game, and the Governors were able to sneak the tight end out behind.
1st and 10 from the 34-yard line. Titans will take the ball with 4 minutes and 53 seconds left in the third quarter as a nice carry off left side for Brenner Conrad, the quarterback, will pick up 7.
8-yard gain brings up 2nd and 2.
Yeah, that was the first time in quite a while that Brenner hasn't given it to the dive back on that. Everyone was sucked in on the dive fake, and Conrad just was able to get good yardage on the first down run.
Brock Ellingson, a wide receiver who stands 6'5", will head out to the right side. On a 2nd down and 2 from the 42. High snap, handoff, and trying to find some form of room in a seam. This time is McKinney, and he has a 1st down. Gets to the 48-yard line.
Good patient run by McKinney there. Initial hole was there, and then he kind of waited for everyone to get settled and then was able to burst through there to get that 1st down.
And we've seen the maturity so far of McKinney, because when he first came in a few weeks ago, it was just give me the football and I'm just going to try to storm my way as fast as possible, sprint as quick as I can. So to see him just take even that moment of hesitation, wait for the play in front of him, you're already seeing him mature just over the course of a couple of games.
Absolutely.
1st down and 10 from the 48. And the handoff busted right away. Keegan DeYoung pushed backwards. In his face was Elijah Bushi. Elijah is a junior this year. Stands 6'3", 220 pounds.
Yeah, and Conrad, as soon as he handed it off, he tried to take it back. He's like, oh, no, I didn't mean to give that to you. Kind of read that dive a little bit incorrectly there, but, not a huge yardage loss or anything. Titans still have a 2nd and 10.
Conrad will go under center. He puts Viss in motion from right to left, and a penalty flag flies. .256 left to go, third quarter. 2nd down and 16 from the 42. The clock is rolling. Awaiting the snap. Conrad calls for it. Hands it off for Keegan DeYoung. No, he fakes it, keeps it himself, and he slips away from a tackle across midfield. Well, there's that 2nd effort paying off for T area. Finally, it took the 3rd time. And Conrad gets out to the 48-yard line, setting up a 3rd and manageable.
Gain of 10 brings up 3rd and 6.
Conrad looks a little bit dinged up on that one. We'll see if he has to run over and get the play call from the sideline.
It looks like they sent McKinney out to do that part for him. 3rd down and 6. Under 2 minutes to go, third quarter. Titans with the wind at their back. Conrad almost gets Pierre to jump offside. Calls for it, gets it, hands it off. McKinney with a carry, and McKinney is swallowed. No gain on the play. Will be 4th down and 6.
Carry by McKinney. Stopped at the line of scrimmage.
Punt team coming out for T.
No gain on the play. Brings up 4th and 6.
Is this T's first punt of the game?
It is. Riley Svando will set up to kick the football. He's standing back at his own 40-yard line. Snap. Gets away from him. Pressure is coming. The ball's still on the ground, and T's just going to cover it, and Pierre will take over. 1st and 10 from the T area 32.
Fumble on the snap, recovered by number 34. Vincent Scott.
Well, the idea there, I know probably a lot of fans are wanting T to go for it on 4th and 6, but the idea there, you have the wind at your back. There's only a minute left to go in the third quarter. You can try to pin Pierre deep in their own territory and then maybe make it so where Pierre has to go into the wind, a long way to go, and then that happens.
Well, and that's tough. It's the first time that T has punted all game. The long snapper, going out there, hasn't had to do one of those all night. Wet football, windy conditions, not ideal for the first time doing something for the night.
1st down and 10 from the 38-yard line. Kaiser hands it off. Mosier stopped. It is a loss back to the 40-yard line. Bunch of bodies getting picked up off the turf. And it will be 2nd down and 12.
Looks like T's bringing someone on just about every single play here. Looked like Sam Wordle on that one. Guys just coming through there, penetrating into the Pierre backfield. We'll see if Pierre tries to go back to the pass here.
Stalley is the wide receiver off on the right side. Tailback is Trey Lewis on a 2nd down and 12. They fake the handoff, rolling to the right side, losing the football. Down on the ground is Kaiser. Here's a rugby scrum for it. I believe Pierre's going to get back on it. They do. The football is all the way back at the 46. And that brings us to the end of the third. 3 quarters in the books. It is Pierre 20, T Area 12. The 4th quarter on the way next on the T Area Titans YouTube channel. Welcome back to Titan Stadium. Start of the 4th quarter. It is 20-12. Pierre on top of the T Area Titans. I'm Jerry Paleshi, joined by Chad Berger and Andrew Griffin here inside at Titan Stadium in the nice press box. On a night like this where the wind is howling, the rain is just going sideways, and now the Govs have a 3rd down and 30 in front of them from the 42-yard line. Titans needing a stop, trailing by 8. Low snap. Kaiser to throw. It slips out of his hand. Incomplete.
Kaiser pass incomplete. Brings up 4th and 30.
Well, it really wasn't a factor in the first half, as the weather has not given up at all. It has been this way since the start, where you can see the sideways rain here at Titan Stadium. That has been consistent all the way through. But over the last roughly 15 minutes of real time, we've seen the football starting to get slippery.
Yeah, what happens, early in the game, they're able to, each team brings so many footballs. They're able to kind of keep a rotation of footballs into the game, keep them dry a little bit. But at this point in the game, all those footballs have seen the wet weather, and the moisture just absorbs right into that leather. And essentially, you can't get a dry football at this point in the game.
Well, the officials are trying for Pierre as they just exchanged a football, as Pierre will kick for the 2nd time. They will punt for the 2nd time in this game, and that doubles the number of punts that they have had all season long. And dropping the football is Zabel. It's down on the ground, and T gets it. It's not going to matter anyway, as T will take over. But where it does matter is the field position, of course. Well, it's just kind of a flip the script of exactly what happened moments ago.
I feel like we can just pull back the audio from about 5-10 minutes ago here, Jerry, and replay that. You know, wet football, teams that haven't done this a whole lot tonight or this season for that matter, and you're putting them in positions where, you know, that long snapper has to make everything perfect with suboptimal conditions.
It is first down and 10 from the 34-yard line, as Gary Duffy, the head official, was having a quick conversation with Brenner Conrad, the quarterback of T. Titans trailing by 8. 11:48 to go here in the fourth quarter. And they have the wind coming straight into their face. Conrad back to throw. Gives the screen pass left side. The catch brought in by DeYoung. DeYoung puts a shoulder down. He's still fighting for yards. And he's able to push his way forward for a pickup of 9.
Well, that's a way to get a completion. You know, just throw a nice short one. Trusty old, drop-off valve here, Keegan DeYoung, and let him do the damage. So T able to get a little bit going at the passing game there.
I'm going to say DeYoung stepped out of bounds a little bit earlier, so it's 2nd down and 4 after a pickup of 6. High snap, handoff. DeYoung carries. Right side still going, and now starts getting pushed backwards, but he's right near the first down marker. Lucas Chamberlain and company for Pierre will combine on the tackle, but it will be 3rd down and a yard.
And that's one of those zone reads where Conrad's reading that backside defensive end. The defensive end actually chased after DeYoung on that one. If Conrad would have kept that, he would have had a nice gain as well.
Ellingson will line up to the right side. Halbert to the left. Out of the shotgun is Conrad. 2 backs with him. Hands it to McKinney on a 3rd down and 1. McKinney dances and has enough for a first down.
And off to McKinney to the right side. Picks up.
Well, McKinney needed 1. He's going to pick up about 2.
Brought down by Lewis. And it is Titans first down.
Clock is going to roll, 10:50 remaining.
I feel like the Titans really like that right side of their offensive line when they want it, when they need a yard. They like the middle to the right side, the guys that they have up there.
First down and 10. Svanda in motion, handoff, given left side, and a power run, I believe for Ethan Viss. And Viss is going to pick up 6.
Brought down by Lingdown. Brings up 2nd and 6.
You can see Brenner Conrad is not running at his full speed from sideline back to the huddle. Seems fine as the play is going, but maybe just a little hobbled. 2nd down and 6 from the 19-yard line officially. Snap, handoff. DeYoung, and DeYoung will pick up a couple of yards. Cody Peterson from the offensive tackle position was pulling, and it looked like he had maybe a half a step there for a moment, Chad.
Yeah, it looks like maybe they're getting off a little early sometimes.
I'm not complaining about it. I just want to be clear.
Peterson, not like the Kansas City Chiefs.
He's quick to get off the line. It's perfect.
Not like the Kansas City Chiefs earlier this season, but Cody's only a sophomore, so he's he's enthusiastic, he's very athletic. They like to use him on the pulling.
3rd and 3 from the 16-yard line. It is a keeper for Conrad. Cuts left side, finds some room in his seam, and the turf turns into a slip inside for a moment as he's wrestled down from behind by Chance Sarda. I think Brenner Conrad just slid for about 4 yards.
He did. That turf, and it's got those little black pellets in it too, so I'm sure he got a face full of those as he was sliding across the turf.
It is first down and goal from the 4-yard line. One in motion, McKinney. They hand it off to Young. Wide open touchdown, T area. Keegan DeYoung with the rushing touchdown, his second of the night. And it's a 2-point conversion away from being tied.
Still plenty of time in this game, but obviously T wants to tie this one up right now. Don't, wait and see what happens the rest of the game here.
Titans are 0 for 1 on 2-point conversion attempts tonight. Will this one pay off? Conrad is going to follow a lead block straight down the middle, and he waiting. Oh, I can't tell. The team was signaling he was in. There's a Pierre player with the football. They're going to talk. The T thinks that they have the 2-point conversion. Pierre thinks that they had a fumble recovery of some form. And the officials are just going to say he was short. So 9 minutes even left to go in the game, and the score will be Pierre 20, T area 18.
That's a tough one when there's just a big jumble of humanity in there. The officials that make the call are standing on the sidelines, and they're expected to see whether the ball crosses the goal line. And sometimes there's 6 or 7 guys between them and the football. It's just a really difficult call to make. I know, we don't have instant replay at this level. It's very, very unfortunate in this case, but, T thought that they were in. No one really knows what happened in that case. We'll just have to take their word that it was no good.
I don't know if it could have been closer, though. Just from the way it looked, at least from our vantage point, our area, it would have been within inches. So, who knows? Officials make the call. 2-point lead for Pierre. 9 minutes left to go.
Now, Weebing is a freshman kicking off here.
Correct.
He's had a almost onside kick earlier, and then a couple that went to about the 25-yard line-ish. So we'll see what he does on this one.
There are 2 back for Pierre. Weebing approaches, and he will just line drive kick straight down, and Pierre will cover it up at the 31.
Swift kick recovery for the Governors by number 31, Winkler. Ball to 31-yard line.
We'll see if the Titans come up with a defensive stop. Pierre has 125 rushing yards, which is significant because at halftime, the Govs had 148. Titans have gotten back to Kaiser and company in terms of the run game. We'll see if they can keep doing so as DeYoung comes over, wanted to lay a hit. Kaiser's able to slip away, gets outside the numbers.
On the left side to Lewis.
And it will be a pickup of a couple of yards. Where Pierre has struck here in the second half was on one pass, a 68-yard pass to Jet Zabel. Looks like we have a quick stoppage of play for a timeout. It will be second down and about 5.
What's going on this weekend in Titan Athletics, Jerry?
Well, I got the Dakota 12 Conference volleyball tournament going on tomorrow, in which, of course, T will be participating. That is in Lenox. Make your way out there for that. The soccer teams, I should say, playing for the state championships. Girls soccer, 11 a.m. They take on Groton. Boys soccer to follow at about 1 o'clock against Sioux Falls Christian. Those games taking place over in Brandon Valley, so you can make your trip out there. South Dakota Public Broadcasting has all the television coverage as well. So you have a couple of different ways you can support T-Area Athletics coming up tomorrow. What I haven't seen, and maybe what would be a perfect day, is if you could hit both soccer matchups, and then if you can get to Lennox for the volleyball matchups that will be taking place. I haven't seen the bracket release, though, for the Dakota 12 Conference Tournament tomorrow. 2nd down and 6 from the 35. Here's a handoff on the left side, 1st down for Pierre.
Carry to the left by Kaiser. Picks up a Governor 1st down, tackle by Eimers for the Titans. Ball to the 42-yard line, gain of 7, 1st and 10.
Governor's just continuing with that quarterback power. They really like that play. Not a lot of risk of fumble. As long as that quarterback catches it, there's only one person touching the ball.
Under 8 minutes to go. 20-18 the lead for Pierre. Govs with the football, 1st down and 10 from the 42. Kaiser calls for it, rolling to the right side, trying to get the edge. Pierre may have gotten away with a hold, but the Titans are going to push him out of bounds near the line of scrimmage. Chesson Wiebinga is looking for a holding penalty. And after all of that, they're going to say Kaiser will pick up nothing. It will be 2nd down and 10.
Well, Wiebinga did get turned all the way around there on that one. That's a tough one. Out on the edge, there's not really anyone else between the play and the official at that point. Kind of a missed call, if you ask me.
7 minutes to go. Play clock winding down. It's down to 3, down to 2. Zabel takes the direct snap. He goes left side, and he will be thrown down to the turf at the 46. Carter Turek, it will return for T area. And a late penalty flag came out against T. And that will be a 1st down for Pierre.
5-yard face mask from the Titans will move the ball ahead. 5 yards will be 3rd and 1.
No, never mind. I stand corrected. I thought I saw Gary Duffy, our head official, signal for a 1st down. But it will be short by a yard. It is 2nd down and 1. The clock is stopped, 6:45 to go. Zabel calls for it and just bullies his way straight ahead for a 1st down.
That's the shotgun version of quarterback sneak right there. Just get that offensive line going forward and have the quarterback follow him and get the 3 yards and the 1st down.
A little bit of a bigger body doing so is Zabel, 6'4", 215 pounds. We've seen that all night long from Cade Kaiser, who's 6'2", 190. Zabel staying in at that spot, 2nd down and 10, or 1st down and 10, excuse me, 1st and 10. Zabel mishandles the snap, picks it up, T comes over, and they will get to him. They will stop him back at the 48-yard line.
Recovered by Zabel. Back into Titan Governor territory.
The reason you're seeing Zabel take these snaps from the quarterback position for the big tight end is because the quarterback himself, Cade Kaiser, I can see he's on the trainer's table on the far sideline.
Both you and I also are sideline reporters, but not tonight. We're up in the booth here tonight.
2nd down and 15 from the 50. It's usually easier when you're on the sideline to see everybody. Here's a throw. Zabel chucks it, fighting for it, coming back for the football, and incomplete. There is, never mind, that is Cade Kaiser that was lined up at wide receiver. I'm standing corrected as I'm looking straight across. I thought I saw him on the trainer's table for a moment. Happens in the rain.
Now
My
it's
apologies.
third and long here, Jerry. So Pierre's bringing in a whole bunch of new bodies on this for this formation.
Be 3rd and 15 from the 50-yard line. Clock is at 5:27 to go. It is stopped. Here's Kaiser to throw, back to pass. Lobs it down the middle or towards the left side of the field. It's caught and brought in. Zabel with the reception at the 28-yard line, out of bounds.
Yeah, really good coverage there by the Titans, but that's one of those back shoulder type throws where you don't put it all the way up in front and you let the receiver come back to the ball and make a play. And Zabel's obviously a great athlete and was able to make the play on that pass.
Kaiser has completed 3 passes in this game, and all 3 of them have gone to Jed Zabel. 1st and 10 from the 28-yard line. Zabel will keep it, and Zabel will keep going, and he's free. Touchdown, Pierre. Not quite sure how he slipped away, but he did, and the Govs get into the end zone.
Looked like one of the Titans had him in the backfield, and then he was able to slip out of there. You know, at this point in the game, everything's just soaking wet out there. So you think you have a guy wrapped up, and just unless you absolutely do, they can slip off of that.
Touchdown makes it 26-18 with 5:12 to go. This is Ryan Berry to attempt the point after. Mishandled snap, and Pierre will just jump on it. The play is dead. 5:12 left to go in the ball game. It is Pierre 26, T Area 18 on the T Area Titans YouTube channel. Jed Zabel with a rushing touchdown extends the lead for Pierre 26-18 with 5:12 left to go here in the 4th. Jerry Paleschi, Chad Berger, Andrew Griffin here in the booth at T Area High School. A scoring drive for Pierre that goes 8 plays for 69 yards and took 3 minutes and 48 seconds off the clock. But the point after was not even close to being attempted with a mishandled snap. And T still has an opportunity. Viss will return. And Viss will bring it out towards the 31-yard line. So for a moment, it really, truly felt like Pierre put this game away. Would have potentially made it a 2-score game, and Titans are still down by 8. It's 1 possession.
Yeah, the conditions out here tonight are really, really damaging the kicking game specifically. You know, the snaps have not been crisp. The holds and the catches on the punts haven't been crisp. And that's actually cost both teams up to this point.
See what the Titans are able to do, trailing by 8 with 5:07 to go. It's 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line. A handoff for DeYoung. And DeYoung trying to go off right tackle. Will pick up 2.
Conrad looks like he's moving a little bit better than he was the last time the Titans had the ball.
Again, this matchup pivotal in terms of the seeding for Class 11 AA, as the playoffs are only 2 weeks away from starting, which is crazy to even think about. Conrad to throw, zip pass incomplete, intended for McKinney, who is put down to the turf by Trey Lewis. The crowd wants a personal foul, and the officials will not grant it. It will be 3rd down and 6. You look at the top of Class 11 AA. You have Pierre, who their only loss so far has been to Brandon Valley. Yankton has played good football all year long. T right there, with their lone setback being to Yankton so far, and hopefully the only. 3rd down and 6 from the 36. Conrad tucks, goes to run. He's going to lose a yard.
Yeah, just a few too many Pierre defenders there right in the middle where Conrad wanted to run. He's coming up and, looks like he's limping a little bit after that tackle.
Oh, here's the big 4th down. 3:55 to go. Clock is running. Trailing by 8. Play clock is under 10. Svanda in motion from left to right. Conrad to throw, look in that direction. The ball slipped out of his hands. He picks it up. He's rolling to the near side. He's still looking down the field. He cuts back up in, but he will be tackled and stopped at the 35-yard line. It is a turnover on downs. And Brenner Conrad is really just hobbled right now, heading to the near sideline.
Yeah, that was really unfortunate. Just that wet football is just killing both teams right now. It's a game of who can hang on to the football, make the fewer amount of mistakes, and so far that's been the Pierre Governors.
Govs take over with 3:30 left to go. It is 1st and 10 from the 35-yard line. Zabel rolling left side, trying to get outside the numbers with a stiff arm, cuts across the 30-yard line, and then takes the sideline for a couple of extra yards out towards the 27.
Gain of 9, play for 2nd and 1.
Did go out of bounds, so the clock is stopped at 3:28 to play.
That was about the only fortunate thing for T on that play, was that he did go out of bounds and stop the clock. 9-yard gain on 1st down is not optimal when you're trying to keep a team from scoring.
On 2nd and 1, Zabel calls for it, and he will go off tackle left for a 1st down.
Keeper by Zabel to the left side.
Ball will be marked at the 21-yard line, 1st and 10 for Pierre.
Tackle and play by Eimers for the Titans.
Clock starts to run with 3:20 to go. T does have all 3 timeouts.
1st and 10.
You would think that they're going to start using the timeouts here following this play. Zabel's just taking his time. Play clock under 5. Calls for it. Straight ahead he goes. Lowers the shoulder, and Zabel will push the pile out to the 15. A nice pickup of 7 for Zabel.
And this is where you're seeing that, that depth and experience from the T front line, or from the Pierre front line, where, T knows what Pierre's going to run. Pierre just goes up there, and they're executing right now.
We gave that offensive line credit in the late part of the first half, and they're doing it again here late in the game. 2nd down and 3 to go. Zabel down the middle, and he will get right to the 1st down marker, and now stretches out on the 2nd effort for a little more.
Keeper by Zabel, cut down by Hulbert for the Titans. first down for the Governors. Ball at the 11-yard line.
So the clock is rolling with 1:50 left. First and 10 from the 11. Zabel straight ahead. And he picks up another 3 to 4. Depending on the mark, it looks like they're going to put it about the 8. Thought the timeouts might be coming in from T. But the Titans electing not to stop the clock with 1:03 to go. Clock is at 53. Still rolling. Zabel looking to the back judge just for where the play clock is winding down. Zabel dragging defenders, and he will try to extend the football out. He's going to be stopped at the 2-yard line. It will be a first down, and that
Penalty at the end of the play.
will also bring a flag. So they call a personal foul penalty against Pierre. Which moves the football back. But nonetheless, it's only 29 seconds to go.
Yeah, if I'm Zabel, I'm not reaching the ball out there. I'm just tucking it away and letting that clock continue to run with the 8-point lead
And now
here.
there's another stoppage. I think coming from the far sideline.
Ladies and gentlemen, the conclusion of tonight's game, in order to get out of here in a timely manner, the Pierre fans can exit the stadium to the north. That's the opposite end of the scoreboard. The T area fans will exit to the south.
The officials are just having a little discussion quick.
So again, Pierre fans to the north, the opposite end of the scoreboard.
Well, congrats to all the Titan cross-country runners that qualified for the state meet. A couple of the girls that made it, that qualified. We've got JC Babb and Jada Van Laken. And then the entire boys team did. We'll get their names read off here in just a moment after this plays run.
Pierre will have first down and 16 yards to go following the penalty. And they will just elect to take a knee. That will run the clock out, and Pierre will come out with the victory 26-18. Will be the final score here this evening. T will fall to 5-3 on their season. Pierre moves to 7-1. A tough battle back and forth, but it is the Govs that come out with the victory. 26-18 the final. We'll get you some post-game stats and thoughts. Plus, we'll get you the name of the cross-country team that did qualify. We'll get you all that as part of our post-game. Coming up next on the T-Area Titans YouTube channel.
Attention high school sports fans, are you an armchair official? You know, the parent or fan who constantly yells at the referees and loves to let everyone know just how bad you think they are. Well, if you think you could do better, then get in the game and prove it. It's time for you to suit up and make the calls where they actually count. Every sport in South Dakota needs more officials. Sign up today at highschoolofficials.com.
All right, folks, let's get started. Parents, thanks for coming. As many of you know, I'm Coach Mather. Tonight I want to talk about the season, of which I only have one expectation: that everybody gets stronger. When I say get stronger, I'm not referring solely to physical strength. Sure, we'll be in the weight room, we'll be running stairs, but we're also going to focus on developing mental toughness and grit, because those are the characteristics that allow us to achieve greatness both on and off the court. So how do we develop those things? By getting comfortable with a challenge. by cultivating the confidence necessary to overcome adversity in all forms. That's why I coach. That's my purpose. Every member of this team can lean on me, and I'll teach them how they can lean on themselves and each other.
This message presented by the SDHSAA and the South Dakota Interscholastic Athletic Administrators Association.
Why are interscholastic sports called the last classroom of the day?
Final score, Pierre has defeated T-Area 26-18 here at Titan Stadium. I'm Jerry Palesci, joined by Chad Berger. As this one comes to a conclusion with the Govs extending their advantage over to the Titans to a perfect 5-0. It has been the one team for T since they entered Class 11 AA that T has just not been able to get by. Pierre continues that on their first trip to Titan Stadium. In school history, they get the victory here this evening. Final stats, Pierre ran 52 plays for 286 yards. T ran 53 plays for 263. Pierre had 17 first downs compared to T's 13 first downs in the contest. The possession time in favor of T, 25 minutes and 24 seconds compared to 22 minutes and 36 seconds. Let's get to the individual stat leaders. For Pierre, who comes out victorious, Cade Kaiser throwing the football, 3 of 10 for 98 yards and a touchdown. Rushing the football, Kaiser had 124 yards on the ground and 2 scores. Jed Zabel caught all 3 passes that Kaiser connected with, and Zabel ended up coming up with 98 yards receiving and 1 touchdown. He added 73 yards on the ground and a score. Trey Lewis ran the football 4 times for 7 yards. Brock Mosier 2 times for 2 yards. On the other side for T-Area, Brenner Conrad throwing the football 1 of 4 passing for 6 yards. He did throw 1 interception in the game. His reception target went to Keegan DeYoung on a screen play, good for 6 yards. Rushing the football, DeYoung 17 carries for 130 and 2 scores. Brenner Conrad had 98 yards rushing and a touchdown. Ethan Viss with 7 carries for 20. Cole McKinney with 8 carries for 18 yards. The way this game started, T went down the field, 11 plays, 80 yards. They took 5 minutes and 32 seconds off the clock as Brenner Conrad went in for a touchdown, 26 yards out. The point after for Carson Hall was blocked, made it 6-0 T. Pierre followed that up with a Cade Kaiser quarterback keeper for a touchdown for 42 yards out on a 4-play, 61-yard drive. The extra point was good, 7-6 Pierre. T answered back, Keegan DeYoung with a touchdown rush for 63 yards. The point after was a 2-point conversion opportunity, that was no good. 2 plays, 63 yards, 57 seconds taken off the clock, made it 12-7 T. Late in the first half, 5 seconds left on the clock to be exact. Cade Kaiser with another rushing touchdown from 7 yards out. The point after was good, made it 14-12 in favor of Pierre. Pierre in the third quarter, Kaiser with the completed pass to Jed Zabel, good for the touchdown, 68 yards. Made it 20-12 after the extra point was blocked. Keegan DeYoung in the fourth quarter with 9 minutes remaining with the rushing touchdown from 4 yards out. The point after for Brenner Conrad, or the 2-point conversion attempt, was no good. 20-18 the score at that point. And then Pierre, Jed Zabel with a quarterback keeper, 28 yards. That was the icing on this one, 26-18. And that is your final score. T again falls to 5-3 on their season. They are back at home here on Thursday night against Watertown. Pierre, they will play a home match as well next week on Thursday as they welcome Douglas to town. Chad, the final stats are there. T-Area falls side, a tough game for the Titans. But again, I know we've talked throughout the night, but for those that kind of joined that first half, they kind of controlled things. It felt like they had momentum. The way the first half ended didn't necessarily go their direction. But then even in the third quarter, there was those moments of having the opportunity to potentially tie the game a couple of times over. Just fell short.
Yeah, I think, the great showing tonight by T-Area, right there with Pierre. It was just one of those things where a couple plays, unfortunately, didn't go their way. Few things, whatever it was throughout the game. But also, T has a little bit of a lack of depth, and I think that did end up hurting them down the stretch here. Pierre had, like I mentioned earlier, 23 seniors, and they've just got a huge roster. able to bring guys in, lots of substitutions throughout the game, and just kind of wore down the Titans near the end of the game.
I don't think it'd be a shock to anybody to see these two teams again play each other come playoff time, which is only 2 weeks away.
Right. T's got a tough one coming up here against Watertown on Thursday night. The seeding could end up, I don't know where T could end up in the seeding, but obviously having the big loss against Yankton and then losing to Pierre, they're not going to be in the hosting side of the bracket as far as the semifinals go. It's going to really depend on, that Watertown game and then what ends up shaking out on the other side with Yankton. Last I looked, Yankton was ahead of Aberdeen Central, so they did pull back ahead. So things are kind of going the way they should, or the way they were expected to in that game. But, anything could happen in the playoffs. Big plays, make a few big stops, and, it's anyone's ballgame.
And for those that might be a little bit confused when Chad's saying it depends on how the seeds shake out and how the numbers break down, it's if you're not familiar with South Dakota high school football, it's not necessarily as easy anymore as just who you beat and who you lost to and then take the standings at the end of the season and just mark it out that way. South Dakota uses a seed point system, and the reason that Class 11 AA utilizes it, of course, is that each team plays a member of Class AAA for the most part. I think there's a couple of exceptions to that rule, but you get points based on your opponent's wins and losses on a graded scale throughout the course of the season. You almost need a math PhD, which I know Chad probably has one, and he has all this memorized and figured out in his head, and he knows exactly who's going where and what. All he has to do is look at the numbers, but you can't figure that out really until, like, we could sit here on Thursday night next week against Watertown and have a very good idea, but just weird things happen because if one team loses – it's all a domino effect. It could be something that doesn't even pertain to a team that you even played that pulls off a victory randomly, and it all gets shaken out that way. So that, long story short, it's not as easy as just saying, well, you lost to Pierre and Yankton, so you're going to be at least the 3, which more than likely is the case. And then depending on what happens with Watertown, there's a lot that needs to shake out yet. So that's a long story short. But, yes, it is a convoluted system. It's fun, but it's a long process.
But the most important thing is wins and losses, right? Obviously, you get more points for winning the games, as far as that seeding point
Correct.
goes. And, T with the 3 losses, that does really affect them. Whereas, Yankton and Pierre just don't have the number of losses that the Titans do. So it'll probably come down to that, the wins and losses record when those seeds get announced.
We'll have it all for you Thursday night. It will be T Area taking on Watertown, and we want to send a special congratulations out to the T Area cross-country team as they qualified for state. JC Babb, Jana Van Laken, first group of guys to qualify also as a team since 2009. So congratulations to JC and Jana for, of course, the Lady Titans, and then for the entire guys group to qualify, first team since 2009 to do so, with Alex Kaiser, Peyton Cyber, Reed Hammerquist, Jack Campbell, Holden Jellin, Tate Van Laken, and Jonah Clemish. Congratulations to all of them for punching their ticket out to state. Again, coming up on Thursday night, it is T Area taking on Watertown. Kickoff is set for 6 p.m. We'll have it here for you on the T Area Titans YouTube channel. Special thanks to Chad Berger and also to Andrew Griffin for, well, taking down the rain tonight and being here to help bring this broadcast to you. And thanks for you for joining in and tuning in tonight. This has been a presentation of the T Area Titans YouTube channel. Good night.